Gab, we're hearing speculation, meanwhile, that Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea could all be kicked out of the Champions League this season. They're, of course, the semi-finalists along with PSG. What's the likelihood of that happening?
So there was a member of the executive committee who came out and said he believes it's going to happen Friday. I'm not a lawyer. I don't see how it can happen, that they be kicked out this season. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe they can find a reason to go and do that. But I just wanted to add to Shaka's point. I think it's the manner that did this which also prompted this incredibly strong response. Because let's not forget about it. This wasn't a case of those clubs coming out and saying, guys, we need this. These are the reasons why we took a bigger hit than everybody in the pandemic. We provide more money to the system. We're tired of sharing whatever. We're not happy with the governance. No, on Friday, Andrea Agnelli, the president of the European Clubs Association, which represented the interests of the clubs, happily went and signed this new agreement. On Saturday, he stopped taking UEFA's calls. Ed Woodward on Thursday, according to Chefrin today, saying, we think the agreement's really good, a couple of details, but all's good, right? And then all of a sudden, these people go in a completely different direction as of Sunday night. You know, there is a way to do this. I think optics do matter in terms of the response that they got from UEFA, and I think what they did was entirely counterproductive to their own cause, if that's what they wanted to do, open a debate about some format like this.
Mina, another striking thing, of course, that was said, the possibility of players who will feature in the Super League will be banned from the World Cup, from the European Championship. That's hitting them right in the heart, isn't it?
Well, again, I don't see how that's possible. If you are talking about this game and trying to better it, and the whole point of existing for FIFA and UEFA is there to ensure that it's spread all over the world, then how can you say, well, if you're going to take part in something that we don't agree with, you're not allowed to play in our competition and represent your country? I don't know if they can do that or not, but I do take issue with the way that the optics right now are making UEFA look like, and perhaps even FIFA, like this poor soul who is championing the little guy over the big guy. Can I just take you back to when New York Times had an interview with Zefrin in 2019, and he talked about some of the reaction to the Champions League format and potential changes within it. And he talked about Javier Tebas in Spain and said, well, there'll always be people who disagree with the fact that, of the way that we are doing things. Tebas at the time accused him of always talking to the big clubs and not really trying to have a conversation and a debate surrounding everyone in Spain, all the clubs in Spain, all the clubs in European football. And he said, well, the loudest always say, the rich will take everything. It sounds to me like now that's exactly what he's doing. He's saying the rich will take everything because all of a sudden the rich are falling out with him. And so I do take issue with the way that this is all being projected. I understand that this is uncouth. I understand that this is unbecoming and that there are many people who are upset about this. But I also disagree in the way that UEFA has handled the situation overall. We fed a monster that has grown, and I can't understand how everyone's so shocked by it all.
Gab?
I think in terms of kicking people or banning players from the World Cup, it is a power that FIFA do have, but it is a very long and difficult process that applies in certain circumstances. My understanding is that also would be very difficult to ban players who are currently at those clubs. I think of it as kind of like a break glass in case of emergency situation, but perhaps might apply to players who move to those clubs rather than those who are already there. More broadly, Mina's right that the situation has expanded. It's become more and more top heavy, and even the new Champions League reform that Borussia Dortmund fans didn't like. Obviously, they like what happened Sunday night even less, presumably. All of this has been driven by the fact that the bigger clubs have always pushed on and on and on for more and more of the slice of the pie, and on some level they have a case, and it's a question of reaching the balance, right? UEFA redistribute more than 92%, or roughly 92% of the Champions League revenues. Those go back to clubs, those go back to FAs, those go back to football at all levels. It's kind of their job to get money in and give it back out. What we're arguing about isn't so much about that extra 8 or 9 or 10% that they take which they say are expenses to organize a competition. It's how that 90% is divided up. Who does it belong to? Does it belong purely to the people who generate it? And if that's the case, then Manchester United and Real Madrid should probably take half of it, if not much more. Or does it belong to the football pyramid as a whole? It's a simple, fundamental, philosophical difference. We've been moving from one extreme to the other, and that process started a long, long time ago. I think there is an optimum balance, but that balance is going to shift, and people are always going to try to pull it to one side or indeed to the other.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.